Okay, we're going to get started. So hi everyone and welcome to the Eat to Curb Your Anxiety mini masterclass. I am so excited to have you all here. My name is Talia and I am a registered holistic nutritionist specializing in mental wellness, specifically anxiety. And over the course of the next 3 days, we're going to be discussing a daily anxiety trigger, and how this trigger can actually contribute to our anxiety and the sneaky ways that it can end up in our daily foods. And then we will go over some alternatives. And at the end of each session, I will also send out a pre-recorded video of this session just for anyone who missed it, along with a few resources and a delicious recipe as well. Also, if you do have any questions throughout the presentation, just pop them into the chat and I will answer them at the very end. So today's anxiety trigger of the day is refined sugar, which I'm sure you've all heard before. Eating refined sugar and other refined processed carbs actually causes crazy fluctuations in our blood sugar levels. And this fluctuation of our blood sugar levels plays a huge role in how we function mentally. So when our blood sugar levels alternate between high and low, it can contribute to our anxiety, make you feel very nervous, very anxious, very irritable, and also just feel very shaky in between meals or when you skip a meal, which I'm sure you've all felt before when you go long periods of time without eating and we feel very hangry. So that's our blood sugar levels fluctuating. So refined sugar actually causes a lot of inflammation throughout our body. It shuts down our immune system. It can feed pathogenic bacteria, which can lead to gut health imbalances. And then it can also cause hormonal imbalances as well as deplete nutrients. So if you're someone who is consuming refined sugar on the daily, then chances are it's going to wreak havoc on your entire body. So sugar is a tricky one as it can sometimes be hidden in things that we wouldn't generally think of, like ketchup, salads, salad dressings, instant soups, instant meals, packaged meals, all of that. And then there's the obvious sources like candy, cupcakes, chocolate, soda, pop, all of that. So if you do go and buy packaged or processed foods, it's important to read the labels and don't let marketing fool you into thinking that you are buying something healthy. So an important part is always to read the food labels and the ingredient list. So something that's really important to keep in mind, which has helped me a lot as well when I make a decision on what to buy, is the contents of the ingredient list is actually listed in order by quantity. So the highest amount of that ingredient is going to be listed first, and then the smallest amount is going to be listed last. So here, as you can see, I've pulled up some basic condiments that we usually keep in our fridge. As you can see, the first ingredient pretty much of this General Tso's sauce is sugar. Then even the ketchup, the third ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. The next one after that, corn syrup. Same with the dressing. Third ingredient, sugar, and then after that, salt. So I am a firm believer that everything is okay in moderation. I'm not saying that you should go and throw out all of your ketchup bottles. The point is just to bring awareness as to what ingredients are in these sauces. And maybe you're someone who doesn't eat the obvious refined sugar every day, like chocolate and candy and all that. But if you are smothering your foods in these sauces every single day, that's when it could become an issue and be contributing to these blood sugar imbalances and then increasing your anxiety and all those awful other symptoms. So here's a list of other forms of sugar to be aware of. Sometimes it can be easy to miss if you are reading the ingredient labels, especially if you are just looking for the word sugar. And at the end of the day, remember that sugar is sugar. So even the healthier alternatives like honey or coconut sugar, things like that, can still actually affect your blood sugar levels. So remember to be mindful and consume it in small amounts or mix it with other nutrient-dense foods. So we're just going to get a little bit into sugar cravings and how when we consume refined sugars and carbs daily with little to no nutrient-dense meals, we can actually get into a vicious cycle of sugar cravings, as you can see in this diagram. So sugar cravings in times of stress are very, very common. I know we've all done it, I sure have. And many of us tend to reach for comfort foods as a coping mechanism. But it is important to have better substitutes around your house, especially if this is a coping mechanism for you. And obviously, allow some compassion for your cravings. But if you are reaching for that tub of ice cream or those bag of chips every single night, I can guarantee you not only will your cravings get worse, but your anxiety will as well. So if you do suffer from food cravings, it may help to take an L-glutamine or chromium supplement, which is known to help curb really intense sugar cravings. But please consult with me or another practitioner before you do start taking these supplements, because most supplements aren't really one size fits all. So it is important to make sure that it is the right fit for you and will benefit you. So here I've listed some alternatives to eating refined sugar sources, and they're all really quick, easy snacks that are super affordable that you can either keep in your cupboard or your fridge, and will still give you that satisfaction if you are having a sweet tooth. And don't worry, I put all of this in a PDF for you guys, and I'm going to send it to you afterwards so that you can print it out and keep it. So lastly, I just wanted to give you guys some tips on how to keep your blood sugar levels balanced. So if you do have some of these symptoms, so aside from anxiety, nervousness, shakiness, which we talked about at the beginning, if you have random mood swings, intense sugar cravings, really low energy, you're often really exhausted after you eat, and you have spikes and crashes throughout the day, and maybe some poor concentration or brain fog, these are all signs and symptoms of imbalanced blood sugar. So if you think that this might be you, here's some simple starter tips to keep your blood sugar levels balanced. So firstly, don't skip meals, as I mentioned, because when you go into starvation mode, that's when you usually get really intense sugar cravings, which usually leads to you kind of picking something quick and easy to eat, which often isn't nutritious, which then will cause your sugar levels to spike, and then you're going to crash, and you're going to have more anxiety and just feel worse overall. So it honestly, just going back to that chart, is just a vicious cycle. And each meal, eat a variety of vegetables, complex carbs, protein, and healthy fats if you can. So for example, if you do want some fresh baked bread or you want a pasta, don't just eat it alone, maybe incorporate it into your meal, make half of your plate pasta and the other half salad. Or if you want bread, add it to a veggie bowl. And guys, seriously, it's so easy. I've added some pictures of meals I've made in less than 20 minutes. There seems to be a stigmatism that when you eat healthy foods, you need to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli, and that's not the case at all. We're not trying to demonize bad foods versus good foods, because that's when unhealthy dieting habits or restrictions can arise. So it's all about how food makes us feel and just bringing awareness to known anxiety triggers such as refined sugars. So just another example, if you haven't ate all day and maybe all you've ate is, let's say, a coffee and a bagel, and you get home and you're starving, you're anxious, you're irritable, you're tired, and you make yourself a massive pot of pasta with maybe just some Alfredo sauce, chances are you will crash after and you're going to feel exhausted and anxious and just overall blech. But then let's say if you've had a well-balanced breakfast with some eggs, maybe some sweet potatoes in a smoothie, you had a good snack. For lunch, you had a veggie bowl. And then for dinner, you wanted a pasta, maybe make it with some stir-fried veggies in it and some grilled shrimp for protein, and then along with maybe a side salad. So that's just a better example of what I mean when I say about well-balanced meal with a variety of carbs and fats and protein. So this will keep you sustained without making you feel like you can't make that pot of pasta. And of course, usually after any carb heavy meal, especially if you are using a white pasta, you will likely feel tired afterwards, which is better to have for dinner anyways to help you wind down for the evening. So I hope you enjoyed today's mini masterclass. I just wanted to keep it short, simple, and sweet. If some of these signs and symptoms of imbalanced blood sugar or intense sugar cravings are all too familiar to you, feel free to reach out to learn more about how I can help you, or if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I will see you all tomorrow for day 2.